Hey everybody, the Bearded Prepper here. I gave you a video a short time ago on my everyday carry items. Just a few of the items that I carry on my person every day. In case I need them for protection, for, surviving, whatever the case may be. But as is the case with many people, oftentimes, most of the time, I'm carrying a backpack with me as well. Whether it be for my work or just moving around. If I go out away from the house, I usually have the backpack with me. And it's not just good to have it for carrying things. It's my backpack. It's just a simple little tactical style backpack. I usually will have some carabiners on the straps or something like that, so that's always there. But it's my everyday carry pack, which is not that uncommon. I like it because I have a lot of the potential items that I could need in a survival situation, in a bad situation if I get stuck somewhere, or even just in everyday living. So it makes life a lot easier. I thought I would go through that with you, and I'll title this one the Everyday Carry Bag, and just kind of show you what I have. I didn't do anything special for this. I actually decided to do this video at the last minute. And so I just went through my bag and pulled a few things out. I have other things in there as well, but some of the most important ones that are, there intentionally with a purpose, I thought maybe I would show you. So, I always start off with marking implements. I always have those there. Whether you are on the range, whether you're doing a construction project, or even if you're just in a situation where you need to write a message, you always have it. And of course, in my everyday carry video, you saw that I carried a small flashlight, pocket light. I also have extra batteries for that in there. And here's something that you may not think about that I always consider. And I'll be honest with you, I get most of these zip ties in my bag out of parking lots. If you're off of the sidewalk, if you're walking around anywhere there's people, especially anywhere near construction, you're always going to find zip ties laying around. So you think about it, you can do a lot of things with that zip tie. Beyond holding things and making a strap, things of that nature. If you got in a really bad situation, I would also, if I had two of these, I would have a ready made set of restraints if I needed to restrain a bad guy or something of that nature. So, zip ties are kind of like duct tape. You can use them for a lot of things. I also found that I always have this. All of my vehicles, my bags always have usually a pack of matches, and these are just the free little strike-on pouch matches you can get at gas stations or whatever, and a small lighter. And one thing that a lot of people don't think about is, if you need a container or you need a bag or something, you could try to shove one of those disposable store bags in there, but they usually take up a lot of space, get all ratty or get torn. But if you're ever on an airplane, those little vomit bags come with a ready-made strip that you can use to seal it up. If you need to, you can carry water. You could put food in it. They're waterproof. Those are great little bags. So I encourage you, if you're ever on a plane or know someone that flies frequently, encourage them to snag a few of those for you. I'm sure you could probably order them as well. And they fold down into basically nothing. You can put them right in a pouch. And speaking of which, as you're out moving around and you're considering you may get stuck away from home or may be away from home, I always have a collection of, first aid items that's just good old Pepto-Bismol if you need it. I've got some other, over-the-counter meds in my little micro first aid pouch, so I don't have to carry the big full one. Some bandages and things like that. If you're going out to the range, or if you're out in a serious situation or you're working, someone who really gets hurt, you won't have access to a lot of the the major medical supplies in that. So you have to think outside the box. Beyond just your having your belt and things for a tourniquet, you could use a handkerchief for a tourniquet. You can use a handkerchief to as a dust mask or smoke. If you get stuck somewhere, you can use it to make a makeshift tourniquet also. So if you have to treat water or drink water, maybe it's not the cleanest water, you can put this over the lip of your bottle and use it as a filter to let the water in, get a lot of the big stuff out. Of course, as far as tools, you could carry a whole toolbox. I have extra tools in my truck, but in my bag, I've got a good old Leatherman. Has a lot of tools on it. And, you know, this was just kind of like a freebie little double-sided screwdriver that I got from a trade show somewhere. So there's that in there also. Going along with the first aid, I also always keep a CPR shield in there in case I need it. And, you know, you think about in your everyday carry bag, are you really going to worry about shelter and things like that? But you know what? I have several disposable ponchos. Those take up very little space. They're usually just in a front pouch. I forget they're there. But if I ever need to make a makeshift shelter or get stuck in the elements, need some plastic, I've got a good, granted it's not going to be much more than one use, but it's at least a temporary shelter or some kind of emergency tarp, things of that nature. So, and then of course I have this purposeful item I put together. No, that's not for bad breath. That is an Altoids can. I have it wrapped in rubber bands to keep it closed, but it also gives me a good collection of rubber bands should I need them. And you can fit a lot of things inside of an Altoids tin. So I have sharpening stone for my knife, my axe. I have a couple of, and you can just see, I'll put it back in and show you. It all fits in there rather nicely. And I actually have extra room if I find some other things I want to put in. So beyond the sharpening stone, I also have a couple of these little fire starters. You just kind of cut a piece of this off, you rough it up, it gets a little fluffy, and it'll burn for up to 5 minutes. So good emergency fire starter, just little pellets there. And of course, this is a permanent match. You put the lighter fluid in it, and then you just kind of take the little wick out, and it has a flint on the side. So you know, you can light it. If it runs out of fluid, no problem. The sparks also will light those little fluffed up fire starters. So then of course in the very bottom, I happened to find this other little tin. This was like an old hand cream tin that fits right inside the Altoids. I'm not gonna take this stuff out, but inside of it you can see I have sinkers, hooks, fishing line, actually even heavy gauge fishing line. So I've got my own little fishing kit with about 10 sinkers and about 4 or 5 hooks in there. So, you know that, and I have to admit, I know this is not essential, but I do also have a lot of little instant coffee packs in there too, because you just never know, folks, when you're gonna get stuck and need a cup of coffee. And you know what, if you're at a survival situation or you're in a tough situation where you can't get back home, or maybe things aren't going well for you, for me, I found that just having a nice cup of coffee sometimes is really nice. It helps you stop and think, and maybe gives you a little boost, the caffeine. So, you know, I prefer not to boil my coffee in the Altoids tin. That would take a lot of boiling. One thing you have to consider is in your everyday carry, one of the things you're carrying may be just a single layer water bottle, single seam. You can use that as a pot. You can heat up your water, you can drink your coffee out of it, you can use it, you know, to carry your water or whatever. So even when you're selecting your water bottle, something that simple can make a big difference. But anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys carry every day. I know that looks like a lot. It takes up minimal space in my pack, and it's not a lot of weight. But, you know, if I ever need them, I'll have it, and I'll be prepared. So until next time, God bless. I'm the Bearded Prepper, signing off.